Welcome, everybody. My name is Elad. I am here on behalf of Boson Protocol, and welcome to this panel, which is all about digital to physical fashion. At Boson Protocol, we're seeing massive demand for adoption of our infrastructure layer, which of course enables selling physical goods as NFTs in the metaverse. And this is, of course, what underpins Boson Portal Fashion District. Today, we're going to talk about where Web3 intersects with the metaverse and how these two technologies work together to provide an entirely new experiential way for brands to present themselves and sell their products. We have with us today Edua Sykes, digital fashion consultant at Known Origin, Kerry from DHL. We're delighted to welcome back DressX, our portal partners, with Chief Sustainability Officer Olga Chernysheva. I hope I pronounced that correctly, and designer Piero. I'll start with the questions before you guys answer. Actually, you know what? Let's do it a little bit differently. How about we just do a little round of introductions, if you guys don't mind? Say a few words about yourselves, which organization you're from, and anything else you'd like to add. Let's go in order of appearance here. So starting from the top right, how about you, Piero?
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here. And well, my work in the last few years I've been focusing on the idea of merging biotechnology and science with fashion, and also trying to understand how this science could actually influence what we wear and what we will wear in the future.
Okay, excellent. Edua?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for the invite. I'm so happy to be here, first of all. So I'm the events manager and the digital fashion consultant at Known Origin. So I have been responsible for putting up exhibitions like Digital Natives, which was one of the biggest NFT exhibitions in Europe last year. We've done several others in Miami, in London, and I've been leading up the digital fashion division of the company because there's so many people that was unaware that we have digital fashion on Known Origin. So I came up with this initiative of having Fashion Fridays, which is a day dedicated to promoting and give a platform to all of the digital fashion artists. And we do this with journal articles, live interviews, collections. And this time for Metaverse Fashion Week, we have a digital fashion exhibition. And it's the first time that we exhibit the talent of our artists on Decentraland. So it's just very exciting times.
Super. Kerry, give us a few words.
Hello, hi everyone. Thanks for having me. So I'm Kerry. I'm from DHL Express, and I'm part of our e-retail and fashion team. So I look after some of our customers in the fashion industry within logistics.
Terrific. And like I said, we also have Olga, who was with us a second ago, but I think she had possibly some technical connection problems. So as soon as she rejoins us, we'll have her introduce herself as well. Yeah, let's just dig in, starting with you, Edua, at Known Origin. You are very much Web3 first. And what does Web3 bring to the metaverse shopping experience for physical fashion that differentiates from just, for example, going into a game world and buying clothes or merchandise through an intermediary using centralized payment rails? Can you tell us your thoughts about that a little bit?
Right. Well, I think, first of all, I'm sure there's people watching this who may not know or may be unaware of what Web3 is. So I think I'm just going to give a few examples on that. So when we say Web3, we refer to like a new phase of the internet, of course. And Web1 was this when the internet was born, like maybe in the 90s, when we had like static pages and it was just like the sender and receiver, emails, pretty basic communication system. That was Web1. Web2 is the predominant one, which is where we're right now. It's very visual. You know, we have YouTube, we have social media, we have video calls. And now Web3 is being in the internet. It's the metaverse. So this encompasses metaverse, NFTs, crypto, and it gives a way to decentralized commerce to occur. And decentralized commerce allows consumers to process transactions without any centralized control. And that means no high fees, no block transactions, fair data interchange, which is, it is possible because of smart contracts and blockchain technology. So starting from there, that's how it's very different from Web 2 commerce. And if we talk about fashion, I think people, even before the pandemic, they were trying to understand why are we even shopping, and specifically about luxury fashion. Like, why are we doing this? Why are we going to a store and we have the exact same shopping experience where you go to the store and you come out of it with a bag and a ticket, and that's it. I think people were more into finding a fulfilling experience, which is why back in 2019, we start seeing these pop-up shops by Louis Vuitton in Chicago and hotel residences by Versace. So then you see how brands are approaching that we are after the experience. And now with the metaverse, it just allows you to engage much more with your consumers. So if I want to go to any of the stores in the metaverse, I can buy not only digital, I can also buy physical products. And I think this is very connected to how we perceive our digital and physical personas. Some people may think that there's a difference. There is no difference. It's like when you go on social media, when you go on Instagram, there is not a moment in the day when you can be like, oh, okay, this is my real life. Now I'm going to Instagram. So this is when my virtual persona starts. There's no such thing as that. Everything is merged in the same experience. And it's the same thing with the metaverse and a real life experience. So it just allows you to connect much more with the brand because it gives you several experiences, and an important part of it is storytelling. With the metaverse, you can create worlds where your consumers can interact with your brand. You can add elements of storytelling, of activities, games, and right now, I think we are focusing on the younger generations, which are very much after gaming. We see kids now like buying skins, playing Fortnite. When I was 10 years old, I would spend my money buying ice cream, but now what they do is that they go and buy skins. So it's just in their system. And I think these brands are just figuring out how to, just approach the younger generations, which is the one that is going to, build the market in the future. So I think it's just a matter of creating a deeper connection with your consumer. And the fact that when you go to a store in the real world as well, you can buy a jacket, and let's say that jacket can be tokenized. So you can wear that jacket not only in the physical world, you can also take it with you to the metaverse. You can wear it and to keep you warm in the real world. And then if you want to go to like our DCL exhibition tonight, you can wear that as well in the metaverse. So this is something that if you go to any other website to buy merchandise, well, it probably is going to get to your house and it's going to look great on you, but you won't be able to take it with you to the metaverse. You won't be able to give it utility in the way that can be done with garments that are sold as NFTs. And that's the one of the wonders of decentralized commerce and metaverse and NFTs in digital fashion, that is all within Web3.
That's terrific. I personally, a few things there resonate with me because I like especially what you said about the whole shopping experience, right? I mean, even for me, I'd love to hear what the rest of you think about this personally, if you want to share, but I don't mind being candid that, as human beings, we're not like always completely Spartan, right? It's not just about maximum efficiency and bang for buck value and, wanting to find what we want to purchase at the lowest possible price. The experience sometimes is worth paying a premium for. And oftentimes I enjoy buying something in the store, even though maybe I could get it for cheaper online or on a website or something like that. But the experience, right, of going there and, everything is shiny, or maybe it's fun or something. And, like Web3 and the metaverse just takes it to like a far greater level, right, where you could do things that literally defy physics. So for me personally, that's very interesting. Does anybody else feel that way? Do you ever like, you could get something cheaper elsewhere, but it's like you're just like in the ambiance of the store. So I guess whatever the stores are doing is working. Okay, so so that's really excellent, and a few other points that you touched upon there, 100%. The storytelling and also the decentralization, the connection between the physical and the digital is of course extremely important, and right, the whole foundation of what we're talking about here. Kerry, I think there's a little something going on in Decentraland with you guys. Could you explain why you guys decided to become a part of Metaverse Fashion Week and tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, of course. So for those who don't know what DHL is, we are a global logistics company. So and we have been
Is
the
is there
fashion
somebody that doesn't know? But just in case,
potentially,
right?
yeah, potentially. No, so yeah, we've been kind of the fashion and retail industry's leading global logistics provider, for decades. We started in 1969, mostly shipping, B2B goods. But we've got a real big presence in the fashion industry as well, London Fashion Week and all the fashion weeks around the world. And then, last year with the pandemic happening, moving to those more virtual fashion weeks as well. So I think for us, it's just about the kind of how fashion is evolving, for being part of the first ever Metaverse Fashion Week is really cool. And we're all about helping our customers, which are mostly young designers, big retailers, SMEs, and kind of helping them throughout this new kind of landscape and looking at how can they kind of maximize on new products and marketing and looking at developing some of those, and then I think as you were saying previously, how then that's linking into the physical world where we would really come in. So I think for us it's just an exciting space to really explore and see what that's going to be like in the future, and we want to be a part of that.
That's super. It's so exciting to see someone, right, like an entity like DHL really start to enter, because when you see infrastructure start to take place, that's really like, I don't know, like the metaverse organism starting to really generate like skin and bones, right, and becoming like a living and breathing thing. And yeah, super exciting. Delivery is obviously going to be an enormous part of this, and all of the logistical sides. So as a metaverse citizen, I of course welcome you personally, and we're happy to have you here.
Thank you.
Olga, really happy to welcome DressX back to another panel. I'm happy that Boson has such a cool partnership with DressX. And as a digital first company, can you tell us what it means to DressX to be able to offer physical products as well as, or via Boson NFTs? And before you answer, I think your connection may have dropped off a little bit before. If you could please introduce yourself for everybody, we'd love to have a little intro pitch from you.
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Olga Chernysheva, and I'm a Chief Sustainability Officer at DressX. So for those who doesn't know what DressX is, we are the biggest meta closet for the digital fashion. So we provide these solutions when someone can wear digital fashion on their photos through our app in AR, like an instant digital fashion, and share it all across social media, your photo or the video. And we're also just launching recently right now, we're launching our NFT marketplace where you can buy NFT wearables, and we are providing utilities with those wearables. So you can, for the owner of the NFT, you can wear your NFT on your photo, or you have exclusive access to your NFT through our app. So, and for us, when we launched DressX, the sustainability was one of the key factors. We want to decrease the physical production of the garments, which are meant to be for the content creation. And that is why we are providing the solution to dress your photo with the digital garments. So instead of going into the physical space and overproduct the physical items, go into the digital, which is less polluting. We have 97% less carbon footprint on the production of the digital garments. We don't use water during the production, don't use toxics. And in the end of the life, you can do just only save your photo in your archives. This is when you have the physical garment, it's end up on the landfill in one way or another. So for us, sustainability and not to produce physical was and still is really important. So when we started working with Boson, and we were proposed to create some drop with Boson and we had to create the physical garment. Well, we proposed to create the physical garment. We sit down and we talk about it in the team, and we said that if we are going to produce something physically, which is mostly an exception for us, we have to do it in our way. We have to do it in a DressX sustainable way. So that's why we approached Piero, who is here with us, and you'll have an opportunity to listen from him. What is amazing about Piero is that he's using the natural materials. He's using preserved lichen. So I'm not going to take this part from him. But the whole idea for us was to make the physical item as sustainable as possible, not to use the polyester, which is end up as a shredded microplastics on the landfill. And the idea is that to be closer to the nature as possible, to be sustainable as possible. And that was the main idea for us.
So Piero, let's utilize that momentum, and we'll go to you then. Welcome back, by the way. I do remember that we that we spoke in the past about the intersection of physical and the digital, and I think Olga gave you a nice setup here. What does that mean to you as a designer? And tell us a little bit about about that piece.
Okay, well, for the pieces that I'm creating for DressX, there is a dress and a necklace, and they both will be created using like a preserved species of lichens. So I wanted to combine some of my inspirations in those pieces, like, for example, my fascination with lichens. And
wait, tell everybody what a lichen is, so that
well, a lichen
for the non-science majors.
Yes, it's not a plant, but it's a living organism that it's a symbiosis between a fungi and an algae. So when they both meet, they give birth to what we know as a lichen. So it's a very fascinating living organism, and there is so much that to know about them. And still, every time right now I read about them, I always find out like some amazing, interesting facts about them. But they grow almost everywhere on our planet, and they exist in many different shapes and texture and colors. And what is really amazing about them is the fact that they can absorb pollution, and they metabolize them in non-dangerous compounds, for example. So there is this fascination about lichens that I wanted to bring into this project, but also put on a table our relationship with nature, and have a piece that you will actually have to look after in the same way that you would do like with a household plant, for example. So what does it mean? I mean, how can this piece make us feel more in tune with nature? So those are all the questions that I wanted to go through, and all, that I wanted to go through with these pieces. So whoever's going to purchase the digital version will also receive the physical one, which will be made bespoke using these preserved species of lichens, and they'll have to be looked after, like I mentioned before. So you want to make sure that they have enough humidity, the right temperature. Of course, you're going to receive also the instructions to look after the piece. So. And I hope people will enjoy it and will look after the garment for many years. But if they just wanted to get rid of it, you can just easily.
Oh, did we lose Piero?
Yeah, I think, but let me just continue, because sure. I know. So you can just easily compose that. So there is no physical trace in the end. There is no physical physical waste in the end of the of life of this garment. So this was our idea, and like Piero said, so what do we propose in this package of the drop? It's the NFT, the artwork, but also DressX provide the unique utility on the digital side, so you can wear this dress in the digital space through AR or on your photo, and plus you can get it physically, and you can wear it physically in real life.
Sorry, I'm back.
Hey,
I'm back. Sorry,
Piero,
Sorry.
you're on
down. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, there we. Another challenge.
Sorry.
Man, you'd be so proud of Olga. She picked up where you left off. She didn't even miss a beat. It was beautiful.
I'm sure. She knows the project really well. I mean, we discussed a lot about it, about garments and every single aspect of it. So I'm sure she knows every detail. And yes, just what I was trying to say is that if you want to get rid of the actual piece, you can do it. You can easily do it at home, like putting your compost heap, and it will just biodegrade, because everything is used is either organic or natural, or natural material. So like silk, for example, or the lichens.
Right.
So
can you cook it?
So yeah. Can you cook it? I would avoid, to be honest, to cook it. I would avoid. But yeah. Man. You also mentioned about the idea of having digital and physical. And I think I found really, really interesting the whole idea. And to be honest, I'm still quite new to the whole idea of metaverse, and I'm still trying to grasp the notions of NFT. But I approach this project with a very open-minded, and yes, I like the idea. I can see, actually, I can envision, like, for example, having a shop in a metaverse where you could actually buy the digital version and try your garments, purchase it, and then if you want, you can receive your physical item at home. So I found it interesting, and I'm thinking how this approach, how this concept could actually influence our relationship and behavior with fashion. How are we going to consume fashion in the future as well? So I think it opens, it probably, gives more, there are more questions than answers, but I think it's really interesting, and I'm sure it can open doors to, a lot of other possibilities, and who knows, like in 10 years time, what the metaverse will look like, and what other, ideas and possibilities could bring for fashion.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty amazing. And since we'll need to actually receive those items, right? Let's go back to Kerry for a second.
I'll be at your door tomorrow.
Oh yeah, right. So now we got to ship it with DHL. But I mean, let's talk about the logistics for a second of moving, physical product from point A to point B, which is obviously at the core of what you do. And by the way, for anyone that's listening, like, delivery is a world in and of itself. Just read about it, like on Wikipedia or on DHL's page, or literally anywhere, and it's just that in and of itself is fascinating. But Kerry, could you explain for us a little bit about how this merging of digital and physical worlds affects DHL's business going forward, in terms of both opportunities and challenges?
Yeah, of course. And I think we've seen like a little bit of it in terms of e-commerce, right? Like everyone used to go into stores, and over a decade ago, e-commerce, rose massively, and it's, what we know is everyday life now. So I think there is that digital presence that we've kind of already got, and I think the pandemic again, really did speed that up. when doing that. But as you say, the transport, so DHL, we're international, we're in 220 countries, so for us it is really about how we get that product from the digital metaverse into that physical world. And our transport has been critical to countless startups, events, shows over the years. But we're not only at that kind of B2C part of the cycle, right? We're part of the entire supply chain. So whether that be sourcing the raw materials for garments, and shipping them to be made samples, looking at your inventories, sourcing materials, and also actually getting it from country to country, right? Customs and taxation, and all of the complexities that come with shipping physical goods is obviously something that DHL, we pride ourselves on being the experts within that. In terms of the opportunities, we're even seeing now that the brands are seeking out collaborations with, esports teams, games developers, gaming consoles, launching exclusive collections and pieces in games. So I do think it is an interesting turn of events that is coming, and linking to what Olga and Piero said about that sustainability piece, right? We're seeing circular fashion and outfit repetition. So if we are moving into that more digital space, will outfit repetition and wanting another dress for going on a night out, and really looking at circular fashion and investing in long-term pieces as well, to really bring that all together. I suppose challenges at this point is probably just the unknown, right? Metaverse still is, well, for me anyway, in its complete infancy, as in my knowledge level is pretty low, right? So, I think it is just about being able to evolve, and with how fast e-commerce went, keeping up with everything. A lot of pieces in the metaverse haven't even been invented yet, right? Like, what's the next smartphone? Like, where's VR going to take you? Where they are going to take you? So I think for us, it will be, how do we support our retailers and our customers, and also these young designers that, well, probably know more than me anyway, but how can we support them being able to take those digital elements and bringing them into that physical world, which I suppose, over the course of time, we'll see, we'll find out, we'll learn together, and just be able to support everyone in this new landscape.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how those integrations will take place, because I'm of the personal opinion, again, that infrastructure is incredibly important to everything that's being called a metaverse, right? That's how we'll interface with essentially with the physical and the digital worlds. So when we have such shopping experiences and so on, it needs to actually get to our doorstep, and therefore you guys have a big part to play in that. So that's extremely important. Edua, let's go to you. Boson Protocol is designed as an infrastructure layer that will work anywhere, including in all the metaverses. And it's the use of NFTs that enables this interoperability, if you will. In your view, what are the kind of things you can do with NFTs once you start experimenting with retail in different metaverses?
That's a great question, because, first of all, there needs to be interoperability for things to work. And that's the thing about Web3. Your login into Web3, into the metaverse, is going to be through your digital wallet. So in that digital wallet, you hold all of your NFTs, all your wearables, your digital fashion, and you want to be able to use that everywhere. Because if you go to a metaverse where you cannot use it, where you can't use your wearables or your NFTs, then all of a sudden it doesn't feel like an extension of your real life. It feels like a video game. And we don't see the metaverse as a video game. It is not a video game. You can play there, you can socialize there, you can go to parties, but it's not a video game. It's an extension of our life. So there needs to be interoperability. And once that exists, then the sky is really the limit. Something that I love about this is, again, the experiences that you can give. Once you own a digital fashion garment as an NFT, something can happen, which is that you get an invite from the brand or the designer to be part of the fashion runways as a VIP. That's one of the experiences that you can get. You can also visit the atelier and have the garment made to measure exclusively, like just for you. You're the only owner. It's a one-of-one. So these are a series of experiences that you wouldn't get with traditional fashion in Web2 commerce. So really, it's all about offering consumers a new experience, and also that whatever they own, they can move it from one metaverse to the other. And I think for this, it's not a matter of competition. I think some people may think that since we have different virtual worlds, they're all competing against each other. But I think it's more a community trying to build something together for all of us to be able to have access to that interoperability, to use our NFTs anywhere and to dress however you want everywhere. It's not just taking my favorite jacket to the metaverse. I also want to take that digital jacket from one metaverse to the other, So I think that's very important going forward.
Yeah, I actually have a personal follow-up question for you. So, just spontaneously, personally, what do you think about this? What is it, in your opinion, that is making, I would say digital fashion in general, but just if we put it in more lay terms, our digital appearance more important to us, right? Why are people taking it more seriously now, in your opinion?
Oh my God, we're gonna need half an hour doing this. Well, I think with the rise of social media, things just changed completely. 10 years ago, Instagram, for example, it was meant to post pictures of your food and your cat. Now you have like these very professional cameras, and you pose and you have a filter, and it's like, it just became a machine for everyone to produce and to become an influencer, if you want to call it that way. Right. So it just became more and more important. And now with the metaverse, people just gets it that you have your real life persona and you have your virtual persona, but there's no separation really. So I think right now with the metaverse and digital fashion, you're just allowed to express your identity in ways that you would not be necessarily allowed in the physical world. It's just like digital fashion doesn't have any boundaries. There are no rules. For instance, there's no gravity in the metaverse. So you can have a dress that is floating around or that has ray of light coming out of it. So again, the sky is the limit. So when you have that option, when you have the option to just explore and be whatever you want to be. I think in the real world, we still need to learn to respect others and to allow people to just identify and express themselves in the ways that they want to. However, in the metaverse, you can be a unicorn if you want. You can be a princess. You can be a king. You can, if you have a shaved head, you can be Rapunzel, like Kerry mentioned before. So I think that's what's exciting.
I don't think everybody that's speculating that's watching right now understands the joke because we weren't live yet. But
yeah. But that means that you can be anything you want to be, and I find that very interesting. And again, the younger generations are the ones who are embracing this, and people are just noticing that it's not just gaming, it's not just socializing, it's not just dressing up in your favorite wearables in the metaverse. There are so many things that are going to come out of this. There are going to be you can even go to work in the metaverse. You can meet your coworkers there. So of course you have a presence. And since humanity began, present day, and in 1,000 years from now on, we will have to dress up and to express ourselves. So people are seeing that now we have this new avenue in the metaverse, and they have to understand, and they are understanding that we have to take it seriously and we have to express ourselves in this new digital virtual space.
Right. That was an excellent explanation. Let's go to Olga from there. And I guess, do you want to follow up on that and also tell us, Web3 is obviously integral to what you're doing. What do you think the Web3 ecosystem enables that you can't do with traditional e-commerce? Edward just touched upon that a little bit. Tell us your stance on it.
Yeah, definitely, and I 100% support Edua and what was said about this using your digital garment or NFT wearable in different metaverses. And actually, this is the goal of DressX. We are building the digital wardrobe where the user of the owner of this wardrobe can wear the digital item, whether it was bought just a digital item or as NFT wearable in any metaverses. So if we're talking about Decentraland, if we're talking about Instagram, where we have ourselves, which is ourself is our avatar in Instagram or any other social media, or you're going to the sandbox or any other metaverse. So we are building this wardrobe where you pick up the garment and you go to the video call, like I'm today with my earrings, or I'm going to post something on my social media and I choose another garment and I use my app to make that photo. Or I'm going to the Decentraland and I'm taking the garment from my wardrobe. It might be absolutely the same one, and I'm go to the Decentraland and wear that. So we are actually doing this with another drop during this Metaverse Fashion Week with Mert at Samo, the Finnish designer, and his NFT drop will have not only the AR utility, but the owner of the NFT will have the Decentraland wearable, which is like, for us, it's another big step to integrate this digital wardrobe. And this is what we couldn't have in Web2 environment, because like Edua said, you are connecting everywhere with your crypto wallet. And this is your identification. You're buying NFT wearable and it gives you the connect to different metaverses. And that's why you can use this identification to pick up the wearables, and it's just sitting there, have different technicalities, different technical specs, but using your wallet, you can identify what you have, what wearables you have, and you can wear them in different spaces. And then you can even buy the physical, you can have even the physical garment, which is connected to your NFT. And so you have one item which is everywhere in every metaverse, even in the real life.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the pairing, I think, right? It's referred to mostly. It's one of the exciting trends that are, coming up and being developed by, a number of different projects, including Boson. But so Piero, as a designer, what are some of the metaverse trends that excite you?
I recently heard talking about hyper-realistic avatars. And
hyper-realistic avatars. Can you tell us what you mean by that?
Well, I was
does
just reading really briefly.
It looks even realer than we look?
Exactly. So that's what will it mean? I mean, having hyper-realistic experience in a metaverse. That's something that the idea, I really like the idea, and I found it fascinating. So what will it mean? Like Edua was saying before, like, you could do things probably in the metaverse that you won't be able to do in a reality, or having garments that could be like exactly like real, like they can be hyper realistic, but maybe they can you don't have, for example, here we are restricted by gravity, while in the metaverse we may not. So which kind of shape you will be able to get, but at the same time will look like so real. So there is this, and I'm thinking again, how can all of this experience will influence our relationship with the metaverse, with fashion. But then I love working with innovations, which is also the reason why I'm very excited to collaborate with DressX, because I work with biotechnology, and it is a quite niche thing, and it is quite innovative too. So yes. But I also love everything that, make us think and rethink the way we do and used to do used to do things in our professions. So yeah.
Something you said inspired like a thought that I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say about. Do you all think that, how do you feel that, trying to figure out how to articulate this for a second. So assuming for a second that we can all agree that, digital goods are becoming more important to people, and therefore they will spend more time with digital goods and of course purchase more digital goods. Do you think that that means that they will purchase physical goods less, or do you think that it will influence at all one another, or that there is any connection? And Edua, I know you're about to jump in, but actually, if we don't mind, I'd like to start with Kerry, if you wouldn't mind sharing your just personal thoughts about that off the cuff. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I do think it will make consumers purchase less. I mean, I think we're already seeing that with such a big focus on sustainability, looking at those pieces that are more sustainable, more of an investment, wearing, circular fashion, right? Wearing the same thing, and secondhand goods, etc. So I do think it will hopefully, I think it will reduce the amount of physical fashion that we actually purchase. And then I think only because the kind of, as we were saying, like the sky's the limit in the metaverse, right? Like I can't wait to go to work one day and like a unicorn,
Yeah.
and like see what happens. And it's like, I think just the possibilities are endless, and we're never going to lose that. We want the next big thing, we want the new things, we want the shiny new things. So it's like, well, we can do that without impacting the environment and having an impact on that physical world. So I think when it does, when we're on our laptops, well, I'm on my laptop majority of the day, right? So I think we think it is going to be this big jump into the metaverse, but I think we're already in such a digital landscape anyway that I think the transition is going to be a lot smoother. So
Okay.
so yeah, that would be.
I'd like to make a counter argument, if I may. So and then tell me what you think about that, and then we'll go to others here in order of volunteering. But so here's the counterpoint, right? For me personally, I feel that digital goods and my digital life are becoming more important to me, but that doesn't mean, it's not like a zero-sum equation for me personally. It doesn't mean that my physical needs or desires are lessening. So for example, I want to look prettier in the metaverse, but I still want to dress nicely right when I go out physically. I'm spending loads of time on my computer, but sometimes I'm with the computer at a cafe, right? I'm still going out or something. So what would you say about that? Wouldn't you say that there's still plenty of room for the physical element, or do you still think that like it will directly impact one another?
No, and I think, as I say, there always will be that need for that physical part, right? And I don't think it's going to be, we are going to like be disinterested in it in like a year or two, but like where we're going to be in like 10 years, are we really going to, be having the same needs as we do right now? Probably not. Will it ever go away? And the need, we can't walk about like we have to have clothes on, right? So
Exactly.
in the physical world. So it's that need will never go away. Will the trends of the perception of fashion change? Well, they have in the past 10 to 20 years. So of course they will keep evolving, so I do think we 100% will always have a need for fashion in the physical world, unless you were in the metaverse 24 hours a day, right? Sitting on your couch like there. But that the physical world is a massive presence. It's always going to be there.
Very well put. Edua, what you got?
I just wanted to say that I think there are going to be a lot of twin products. So you will have your physical items, your physical clothes, but each of those garments is going to have a digital twin. So when you purchase the physical one, you will always have the digital twin. If you purchase the digital one, you will always have the physical twin. I think that's how things are going to go ahead, and this will also help to stop in a way overproduction and overconsumption, because when you have when you go to the metaverse, to do your online shopping, which is quite an experience for all of us, and you purchase your jacket, then that jacket could only be made on demand. So instead of producing thousands and thousands of garments and wasting a lot of that in the process, they can just produce what is necessary, what has been ordered. So I think it's going to be a bit of physical twins going ahead.
Okay, and follow-up question to that. So do you think that it will be important for people to kind of replicate how they look in the physical world in the digital world? So for example, if you have you bought a twinned NFT with a physical product, do you think that people will want to like use that same product in the metaverse that they're using in the physical universe? Or do you think that it will be like the opposite, that when they're wearing something in the physical universe, they'll see it as an opportunity to do something completely different in the metaverse, and vice versa?
Yeah, I think that will depend on the personality of anyone. If I go to the metaverse, I'll wear like red heaven, like gowns all day. But that's me. Someone might be, someone might say, I want to look the exact same way as I do in the real world. So I think it depends on the personality, but of course you can choose any of those.
Okay, fair point. Olga, what do you think?
Yeah, well, I think that we still need our physical clothes, like to protect it from weather conditions, like cold, sun, etc. And I think that the trend is that we will buy less physical. So we stop following all the trends and buy all the fast fashion, for example. We will invest in more sustainable, durable, practical things. And digital space will help us to express our personality, because like it was already said here, digital doesn't have limits, doesn't have sky. You can wear burning fire boots, or you can forget about physicality or gravity. So to express your personality and to show who you are, you will go to the digital space and you'll buy amazing avant-garde creations. And now we have a lot of digital artists who are doing amazing things, which you won't be able to recreate even in real life. But for the real life, you will have those things where you will feel yourself very comfortable, beautiful, good looking, still good looking, but you will buy less physical to follow the trends, for example. And yeah, I also know we did the research at DressX at the very beginning. And right now we're finalizing pretty the same research for the 2021, that some people who already buy digital fashion, they answer that buying digital fashion can fulfill their need of buying something new. We like to buy new things, some new shiny, something new in the wardrobe to change our appearance, to change the mood. So we can see that people answering that buying physical fulfill this need, and they don't need to go to the shop and buy physical. To buy digital can fulfill this need, and they don't buy physical anymore. So yeah, I hope and I really hope that we will stop producing so much physical goods. We will reduce the production. The production will be on demand, because digital allows us to create digital marketing campaigns, to show to digital try-ons, etc. And the production of physical goods will be on demand. And to present your personality, you go to the digital space more.
Right. Okay, that's interesting. I mean, I think that those people are perhaps a bit more evolved than I am personally. I do like every so often the touch of something physical, and for me on the personal level, it's just like the physical is still as important as the digital, even though the digital is becoming more important. But as I said, I'm just speaking for myself. I feel that there's a place for each of them in my life, both together and separately. We actually have a question from the audience, and I have a feeling that this one's for you, Piero, but Rashid Gurovich, thank you for your question, asks, would the concept of design change when we talk about going from physical to digital? And will there be different approaches to designing clothing, garments, and products in the digital world?
Well, I'm sure it will. I don't design digital, so I don't know. I'm grateful for DressX to have looked after the whole digital version of the garment. But I guess, yes, that there might be like a different process, but I also think there could be things like that they could be taken from the actual designing of a garment from the real world. So I think it could probably be a mix of things, and it will actually be interesting how, the conversation between those difference between real versus digital could create something really, really interesting. So I think it's really about keeping a mind and approach, an open mind, and see what happens. And then I guess it's all about experimenting,
right.
Whether you're working real and in digital. Yeah.
Okay. And so, Olga, DressX facilitated the production of the digital version of Piero's piece?
Yes, that's right. Yes.
What was that process like? Can you tell us a little bit about taking that physical to the digital?
Yeah, so since the physical garment hasn't been created yet, Piero provide us with his sketches and the detailed photos how the lichen look like. So our designers recreate not only the design, the shape of the garments, but they manually created the textile, the lichen, which you will be able to see on the garment. So because it's not something which you can find in the library of the textiles when you're creating the digital garments, we were recreating them as a new texture. So we create the digital twin, which you can wear on the photo. The owner of NFT will be able to wear on the photo. And we also have to recreate that in AR, which was also tricky as well, because in AR, you have to compromise a little bit the quality and the details, but you want still that show that it's lichen and it has some texture and structure. So it was a little bit tricky, but we managed to do it. And I'm sure that the owner of the NFT will appreciate that AR filter a lot.
Sure. Cool. So I see that we're, thanks for that excellent response, by the way. I see that we are running up out of time. Does anybody else want to add anything, just kind of like spontaneously even on, digital to physical realm and, shopping in the metaverse and anything of that nature? Otherwise, I guess we'll wrap up with an outro. No, we're good. Alrighty. So, at this stage, I want to thank everybody for joining us. You've all been really terrific, and thank you for your patience here today, and thank you to the audience for sticking with us and for listening to this exceptional discussion on physical to digital. I would like to remind everybody that Metaverse Fashion Week is on right now in Decentraland. You can also hit all the stores in the Boson Portal Fashion District. All the information for that is at bosonportal.io, where you can hit the MVFW button in the top right. That'll give you the links to everything you need. And you can check out all of the stores there, all of the excellent brands. It's extremely exciting. We're living in a new, amazing age. And we'll all experience it together now and in the future. So thank you to our fantastic speakers and panelists for joining us. And we'll see you all in the metaverse. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Happy
Bye-bye.
Metaverse Fashion Week.
Happy Metaverse Fashion Week.